Communication is very important for any home design and construction project. Without great communication, projects can fail. They can get behind, you can miss details, you can really not achieve that beautiful home that you want if you don't have great communication. The number one form of communication for a design build company is drawings, plans, and models. Today, I'm going to talk about the way we use modeling to communicate within our team and to our clients what the home's going to be like, the details of the home, the finishes, and the way we build the home, construction details, as well as the look and feel. And it's really important. One of the features that we do is printing 3D models of the houses we're going to build. We're not able to get into tremendous detail with the prints at this point, but it does help you visualize space and the way things lay out and the flow of the space. Let's get into it. I'll show you all the ways we use plans and models to set us apart as a design build company. I've been in lots of design meetings where we're looking at plans and blueprints, and the client or even someone on the construction team sees the plan and says, yeah, it looks great, understand it, know what it's going to be. And they really aren't fully grasping what the space is going to be like when it's all done, even looking at a couple nice renderings. So having that digital model to interact with is super important for both the construction team and the client to understand what their home is going to be like. We all interpret 2D prints differently. Builders, architects, designers, we're trained to read the prints and have a pretty good understanding of what's going on in them. Homeowners, it's not always the case. So having a 3D model to work off of really helps that communication and clarification. So first off, when we're looking at a 2D print, you're seeing the floor plan, you've got dimension callouts. Most people can understand, okay, this is gonna work, but sometimes you can miss the way a house flows, the way it goes together. You're looking at doorways coming in through here. What's the space in here really feel like? Is this large enough? Is it too small? Those kind of things are seen on a 2D print, but can be hard to interpret. So the first level of 3D modeling is a visual picture. So as a case on this plan, you've got a nice picture of the kitchen, really gives you an understanding of what's going on in that kitchen. You've got your island, you've got your spacing, and you've got a plan next to it that shows kind of some dimensioning. So it does give you the ability to interpret what you're doing, the way the spaces are going to interact with each other. But still, even this 3D print, as nice as it is really more just a visual indication. It shows you what it's going to look like at a pretty basic level. Looks nice, but you're not quite grasping what's the distances between countertop spaces. How is it going to work when someone's at the sink and someone's at the range? Those kind of things are hard to do when you're just looking at a photo. So then you get into the actual digital model, and this is where you can get into that model and kind of fly through the house, do walkthroughs, and helps you understand the size, space, and placement. And this is what we do on our design software on the computer, and we'll jump into that. 3D models make all the difference, and they all start in the digital world on the computer. 3D models give us a realistic view of the house itself. It also allows us to place furniture, look at spacing and flow. So here's a couple of examples. Starting with the floor plan here, you can see the spaces. We're able to pull dimensions, looking at the kitchen, the idea for some placement of furniture. Here's the master bedroom, you see the bed. So you just get an idea of how the space flows and how it works. But then we walk into the model setting. In the model, then we start with a top-down view. So we're not looking at the entire house, we're looking at the floor plan from the overview. Looking at this floor plan, you can see, once again, the idea behind some furniture placement. We can play with ideas. In this particular model, in the kitchen, we've got this dining room table here. And then you see this idea of should we or shouldn't we put another table there? Don't like the idea, let's take that item and get rid of it or move it out of the frame. This is how 3D modeling really helps. It allows you to play with ideas, to look at concepts and really proof everything out without spending the money on the build, but we're doing it in the space itself. But really the ability to fly through the space and kind of understand the views. If we're coming in the front door, what do we see? What's the view looking through the kitchen? How do we see it through this living room? And then what does it look like in the living room itself? So being able to go through the house and lay out furniture, look at spacing, look at sight lines is really valuable, especially as you start to develop the plan and how the rooms lay out and relate to one another. So early on in the design, having the 3D views available helps with that communication to the homeowner from the design team. And then the advantages continue. You get into the building itself, start figuring out how things are going to be built, how things interact, looking at the mechanical systems, how they go in. All of these things can be done in the model to allow you to understand how the house works and how it functions. Let's look at a couple more examples as it relates to the design specifically. I go to my floor plan here, and I can then pull a camera shot from any angle, and I want to look at, say, this entryway and looking down this window view. And this is a really important view for us. We're going to have a tree down there, things like that that are framed in this view, and just kind of understanding what that view is going to look like. Is it going to feel good? Is this hallway going to look too long? Those kind of items are going to be important to understand. And I go, okay, you know, maybe we want to bring this window down to the floor. That'll be more dramatic. Bring that down, look at it. So real-time design is really important, and a big part of what we do with our clients is looking at options, ideas, and being able to play with them within the model. Once these items are done, then we get into more visuals. So the pretty pictures and the finishes and the renderings, and that gets to be a lot of fun. Let me show you a couple of examples of this particular home and the way that we've taken them to kind of treat the space and give an idea to the client of what it's going to look like when it's all said and done. So inside this house here, you can see we're inside of the entryway. You have an idea of what's going on. We kind of come into the space. You can see that shot we just looked at a minute ago down the row there through that window. And as we work through the house, we're able to then play with textures, finishes, and the ideas of what could be done within the home. This is a great opportunity. Like in this particular living room, you can see the fireplace and the wood wall and everything that goes into it, the cable railing, we've got water out there, giving you a really good idea of the application of the spaces when everything's complete and finished. Then we can take this, and this is where it gets really exciting in terms of a presentation and helping people continue to understand what they're getting, what it's going to be like. So we go into our video mode, and we are able to take clips of all these different areas of the home and just show them off. And so you're able to see what it's going to look like, have an understanding what the house looks like from different angles, taking this in the entryway there, coming into the kitchen, putting all these sequentially in place, and just allows you to not just be wowed by the technology, but also to understand what you're getting, what it's going to look like, how it's going to feel. And really, I think the most important thing with this 3D modeling that we're doing is understanding relationships of spaces and sight lines as you come into the home. And those things, really well done, allow that house to be elevated to a whole new level than a typical home. So we're able to also very quickly make adjustments. That's a big part of what we do at Williams Contracting, is have our clients in and make adjustments, look at options, and really proof things out. The best compliment that we get when we're building a home is that the design reflects the owner, their style, what they love. They come into the space and they enjoy it. Their friends come over and they say, wow, this feels like you. That's one of the best compliments that we get from our clients. And a lot of that starts with this phase of the design, having these sessions where we're looking at the spaces and really knowing it's going to work and it's going to feel great. When all the hard work's been done with getting the plans developed, the layouts developed, the 3D models built, really is getting exciting. People can see their homes. You can see the beauty of the design, the finishes. Then what we're able to do is we actually print a real physical 3D model of your home. So using our 3D printer, we take the model we've created digitally, print this model out, and give it to our clients. And that's actually a really exciting time. So people look at this, and when it's your home, you're visualizing how you're living in the space, really engrossed in the model itself. And it's just another way to absorb the information and understand the design and fall even more in love with it. This is one of the best parts of the design, is giving people something to hold, something they have for a lifetime that is their design and their home before we've built anything. If you're planning to build a custom home, Don't rely on guesswork. Make sure that you've got great plans. It starts with blueprints, starts with design, starts with models, starts with everything you need to have the confidence to know this is the house that I want. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to love it. So many factors play into this, and really having a great team in your corner is very important. That's what we do at Williams Contracting. A great team of designers, a great team of builders to take those ideas, turn them into a real plan, a real design, and then build them and make them a beautiful home. I'm Chris with Williams Contracting. Like and subscribe for more great content as we talk about home design, home construction. I'll see you in the next video.